Welcome back to Energy Atlas, the podcast where we explore smarter ways to power the world. I'm your host, Rasul, and today we will examine a milestone that has been discussed for a year but has now appeared clearly in the data. For the first time on record, renewable energy sources generated more electricity globally than coal during the first half of 2025. Let us look at what the data shows and what this milestone actually means in practice. According to Ember's Global Electricity Mid-Year Insights, renewable sources generated more than 5,000 terawatt-hours of electricity between January and June 2025, surpassing coal generation over the same period. As a result, renewables accounted for more than 34% of global electricity generation, while coal's share fell slightly above 33%. What matters here is not only the ranking, but the underlying trend. Renewable generation continues to grow steadily, while coal generation is increasing more slowly or stagnating in several major electricity systems. This combination is what allowed renewables to overtake coal at the global level for the first time. China played the largest role in this shift. The country remains the world's leading installer of renewable energy capacity. According to the International Energy Agency, China accounts for more than half of the global renewable capacity growth and dominates global solar photovoltaic expansion. Solar generation in China rose sharply in the first half of 2025. Although coal remains an important part of the electricity system, the pace of renewable deployment has slowed the growth of coal generation and at times offset it entirely. As Reuters reported in early 2025, China's renewable surge has begun to balance out increases in coal power, rather than simply adding on top of it. What this shows is that scale matters. When renewable deployment is large enough, it can materially change the role of fossil fuels even in coal-heavy systems. India was the second major contributor to global renewable growth. During the 2024 fiscal year, India added close to 24 gigawatts of new solar capacity, marking its largest annual increase on record. GMK research notes that this nearly doubled solar installations compared to the previous year. This rapid expansion had clear effects on electricity generations as well. In several regions, renewable output grew faster than electricity demand, reducing the need for coal generation during periods of high solar availability. Across Europe, renewable deployment has accelerated since the 2022 energy crisis exposed to vulnerabilities linked to fossil fuel imports. In response, many European countries increased investment in wind and solar capacity as a part of broader energy diversification strategies. According to International Energy Agency, these investments contributed to higher renewable output in the first half of 2025. Although outcomes varied depending on weather conditions and grid capacity. Fossil fuels have not disappeared from Europe's electricity mix, but renewables now account for a steadily growing share of power generations across the region. Declining costs continue to support renewable expansion. The International Renewable Energy Agency reports that utility-scale solar and onshore wind are now among the lowest cost sources of electricity generation in many regions. In some markets, new solar power purchase agreements have been signed at prices well below those of new coal-fired power plants, even before accounting for fuel price volatility or carbon costs. The consequence is straightforward. When renewables are both cleaner and cheaper, investment flows increasingly toward them, reinforcing the shift observed in generation data. So here is the takeaway. Renewables overtaking coal is a meaningful signal of structural change in global electricity systems. But it is not the end of transition. Coal remains part of energy mix, yet its relative role is beginning to decline as renewable deployment accelerates. Thanks for tuning in to Energy Atlas. Until next time, remember, energy transitions are measured not by single milestones, but by whether new systems can scale fast enough to replace the old ones.